Hey guys, welcome back to Chronicles of a Crafter. So today I want to make some ephemera for my junk journal. I'm going to make it a little grungy, and I think I'll do some file folders because they're so easy and so useful in the junk journal world, I guess. So let's make some. I think I'm going to use my template. I do have actually I'll use my file folder punch board. This way you guys get an idea of how to use it. I do have these as templates. I could have just traced them onto the paper that I want to use, but I think I'm going to use my punch board. Okay, this is from We Are Memory Keepers. It's very simple to use. I play with it every once in a while. I mostly use my templates or a die cut. I do have a die cut that'll also cut out a file folder, but today I think I'm going to use this guy because it's really easy. All right, so these are just cut from 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper. I was able to make 2 from 1 sheet of paper. So each one of these came from 1 sheet of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. Okay, you guys, if you have 12 by 12, you can cut it down to 8.5 by 11, or you can just use the punch board to make a much larger folder or file folder. Yeah, so I'm going to use just some plain paper. This is just, oh, sorry for the focus issues. I've zoomed you guys in quite a bit today just so I can get a feel for what it means to have y'all a little bit closer to the project as we're working. So I hope it does not do this all the way through the entire video. I'm also going to move my Chronicles of a Crafter because that's what my camera is trying to focus on. So I'll move that out of the way. I think by now you guys know that you are watching Nicole at Chronicles of a Crafter. Alright, so first I want to cut my page. This is an 8.5 by 11 cardstock. It's not very heavy weight. It's medium weight cardstock. I want to say it's about 176 GSM, maybe 60 pounds. Okay, so that's about medium weight standard cardstock. I'm going to cut this in half, and to do that, I guess I'm using all We Are Memory Keepers today. I'm going to use this, my little trim and score tool here. So again, cut this down to halfway, so 5.5 on the horizontal side, right? So this would be your horizontal. Sorry. Okay, let's start over. Here is an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. It is in the portrait, position, up and down. Sorry for the focus, guys. I may have to back you guys up. All right, so it's in a portrait position. This across here measures 8.5. This measures 11. Okay, we're gonna rotate our paper 1/4 turn to the vertical side, the 11. And we're going to cut this at 5.5. all right, I know I did not have to do that for y'all. I know you guys know how to cut a sheet of paper in half. I sometimes have to do it for myself because of the crazy, right? Like, I'm trying to explain it to you and me at the same time. All right, so now we have these 2 sheets that we're going to use to make file folders, right? So next I want to score one of them, either one, doesn't matter. I'll be scoring them both. Actually, I'll make 2 file folders. I'm going to score one at let's do it at 3 3/4. So right here, 3 3/4 right there, and 3 3/4 right there. So now we have our 2 semi file folders. I'm gonna fold this over, and now we get to use our punch board. So for the punch board, your tab is what we're trying to create. So right here you have a shorter side and a longer side. Right here is where you want to create your tab, somewhere around there. And if you want to make the opposite, so let's see what I do with my file folders. If you want to make your file folders go in both directions, you can just flip your page around. All right, so if this one was flipped over this way, they would both be facing the same way. But if you want to make your file folders face in two different directions, you just flip it around. Simple, easy so far. So far, so simple. All right, now we're going to punch our tabs in. So on this tab, it basically gives you all of the information that you're gonna need. It's all numbered and sized. So you have your numbers 4 through 12. Okay, it starts at 4, goes to 12. And then you have small, medium, and large in each one of those sizes. I'm gonna just do it and hope you guys are ready for this. I am going to make a side tab. To do so, I have to slide my little tab notch over to where it says side tab. I am going to place my paper into my punch board. Oops. And I'm first going to decide where I want my tab to go. So this thing is sometimes upside down, sometimes right side up. Okay, so now we're just going to punch in the tab section that we want. I'm going to take my little side tab corner, line it up with the size tab that I want to make. I'm going for a large tab and I'm punching right there. So now we have that. So I first did my side tab, which gave me this little corner, flipped it over, lined it up with my large, and then punched and got this right here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do the same thing with this one. First I'm going to do my side tab, right? Okay, so we have that. Then I'm going to move my little marker out of the way. We're going to flip the folder around and line it up with large and get ourselves another tab right there. Okay, so again, both of these are facing the same direction. If you want one to face the other way, you can just fold the page around, and now we have this. Okay, so the next step would be to cut off the excess. So I'm going to turn my punch board around, and you don't have to, but I usually do just so I can see where I'm cutting. You're going to take this little wheel and slide it off to cut off that excess piece right there. Okay, and I usually line mine up so that no part of my tab is in the space of the wheel to cut. This way I will never accidentally cut my tab. I always make sure my tab is off the project board. Alright, so now we have these two cutesy little guys right here. We have our perfectly rounded corners on the corners of it. We also have our perfectly cornered tabs, and now we're going to do our corner rounder. So this little board really does everything for you. You don't really have to you know, get any other tool for making this. So there, we just rounded the corner right there with the punch board by sliding this little notch over to the corner rounder side. And I'm going to do that for all 4 or at least 3 of my corners, because one of them's already rounded. So there's that one, there's that, and there. All right, so sometimes, depending on how straight your page was cut to begin with, you may end up with a slightly less than rounded corner, but it's okay. And this is all the mess that we have. This is all the waste that we'll have from one sheet of 8.5 by 11, and it's mostly from making the file folder. Alright, so I'm just going to move my trash. And now we need to decide what we're going to do for our cover, or at least, yeah, let's just do this front cover right here. That I want to use some paper because cardstock would be a little bit too heavy to wrap around this, or even to mat on the front side and on the back side. This will more than likely be a pull-out from a junk journal. I don't think I'm going to adhere them in. I don't think so. That really doesn't make sense. So yeah, I want this to be a movable, removable piece in my junk journal. So I'm just going to use some paper. So this is actual fabric that I took to my printer just now, copied it onto regular copy weight paper, and made this. This is just, it was a gray, like a light gray, dark gray, or a maybe a cream color fabric, and it's kind of like a little bit of linen or seersucker or something like that, just to give you reference of what it is that I copied. And this again is just copied onto regular copy weight paper, and then I inked the edges. That's it. So you can take fabric to your printer, copier, and make your own paper just by doing that. I'm going to use my little guillotine here, and let's just cut this in half. So it's an 8.5 by 11 sheet, just like I said, copy weight, copy paper. So I'm just going to cut that in half, and then let's see, I think I want this matted on here, so I'm going to go with this side. So this will be like so. Okay, let's just go ahead and do that. I'm just going to open up my file folder, get the design paper where I want it, and make sure that I have enough to round the corners. I can do that. So let's just do that right now. And I'm going to do both at the same time, seeing that both file folders are identical, and so should both of these sheets of paper be identical. Okay, so let's do the medium corner rounder and see. Yep, that lines up pretty well with that one. So I will do the other side as well. Okay, so yeah, so my medium corner rounder rounds up really well with the previous corner rounded from the punch board, but up here on the tab side, we're going to have to, let's see, we're going to have to cut. So I think instead of doing this the lazy way, which would be just to wrap this around and call it a day, I'm going to mat each section, seeing that my file folder has a larger side and a smaller side. So I'm just going to line this up using my mat as my measurements, line this up and make some pencil marks, and then just cut it. Alright, so this may take a little bit more finagling. So let's just say it's about here. I want to say it's about there and there. So I'm just going to use my guillotine and cut that. This way I get the edges the way that they are meant to be, and not accidentally getting them the right way, I kind of really want this to line up nicely. Yeah, that looks pretty darn close. So I'm just going to use some, let's use some, that's not full. Let's use some, let's use Jot, my Jot Activity glue, and let's grab a little glue mat, my little silicone glue mat here, And I'm just going to apply glue all over the paper, not the file folder. The glue the object that you want to glue down, not the location that the object is going. And again, I always start down here in the bottom lower left corner, giving myself time and enough room to maneuver my things around to where I need it to go. Perfect. Okay, somewhat perfect. Nothing's perfect and I love it. Okay, so let's do this side. Again, same concept. I'm just going to place this down on the file folder itself, getting it equidistant from the previous. And I'm just going to mark here and mark here. And we'll cut that and see where we end up. Now, okay, so looking at it, I have a dilemma. So my tab goes all the way up to here. So what should I do about that? I think I'm only going to mark, let's just mark one side. I'm just going to mark the actual jacket of the file folder. So again, I'm using my mat, my craft mat to figure out exactly where I am going to cut. So I'm guessing, not guessing, but I'm looking at it and I think it's right there. So let's do that. And lining that up with the marks that I made. This is probably like, you know me guys, like I tend to craft really quickly. This is like one of the more detailed projects that I've worked on in a while, and I like it. I like some of the detailed projects because then you get something different. You get something more intricate, you know, and you can really go to town with getting it perfect or close to perfect. Nothing's ever perfect, but that's what being junk journalers really is all about. It's like there's beauty in the imperfection. So I'm just going to glue my piece of paper that I want to glue to the file folder. Again, I'm going to start down here. Again, this is very important to line it up perfectly with the stripes that you previously made. Equidistance. I'm starting down here in the lower left corner and working my way around. Very nice, Nicole. I'm pretty impressed. I'm pretty impressed with myself. Working with striped paper or striped fabric, it's one of the more difficult things to do in the crafting world. So yeah, I mean, it's not perfect, but again, there is beauty in the imperfections. All right, so that's that. Let's do the other one really quickly now that I'm on a roll and I have a better idea of what I want to do. Again, this is the side that we've already corner rounded. It is a little bit larger than the previous. So I'm just going to cut a straight line down here on the line of the fabric or of the pattern. And then we'll round the corners again. Yeah, that's much better, much closer to what I was looking for. Okay. Yep. So there's that. Again, I'm going to open up my file folder, line it up with my craft mat, and then just mark where I want to cut the paper. Okay. So, as long as I can find my pencil marks, should be good to go. And that should work out for right here. Okay. and I'm going to glue down the page. So anyway, guys, I talked to myself during this whole process. You do not have to listen to me. I kind of talk myself through the whole thing. If it's not tutorial for you, if it's not fast enough for you guys, I do apologize, but I do talk myself through most of my projects, and which is why some of you like it, some of you don't really care, some of you mute me while you watch what I make, but it's all good. I mean, I like the conversation, I like the playful banter between us, and the amount of time that we spend on here chit-chatting with each other. So yeah, if it's not fast enough, feel free to you know, you can fast forward. Come back when you are when you think I'm at a spot you're up to. But yeah, this is just me chit-chatting with you guys as we craft, right? So I, for some reason, feel like this side worked out a little bit better, a little bit faster than the previous. So I don't know what I did differently, but yeah, it's just coming together a little quicker. So I hope you guys are having a crafty day, and I love that statement. I really do hope that y'all are having crafty days in your crafting spaces, because I mean, we are all very fortunate enough to have craft spaces, and it's really important that we use those spaces, because you know, it's a premium to have the space to do something that, you know, soothes your soul type of thing, or you know, express yourself, your creativity. So I hope you guys are using your craft spaces well out there. So yes, again, I'm just lining this up, and for me, lower left corner is the best location to start, and then I work my way around that way. Okay, so now we have ourselves these two awesome little file folders. They are going to curl on you because even though this is glue stick, it is a wet glue, and so until your paper's dry, this is what you're going to have to work with, this curling situation. Let's see, next we want to decorate, so we're gonna grunge this up. I don't want it too grungy, but I think I like the browns, so I'm going to brown ink around the file folder itself. And oh, we can put a very cute sentiment on the tab. I'm excited. I'm excited, guys. I hope you guys are too, because this is working out really well. Okay, so yeah, I'm just using my brown dauber, whatever is on here. I believe the last ink I used was ground espresso. So yep, I'm just gonna go around here, and again, this will be a removable object in my junk journal, so it won't be glued down. It will be totally removable. It may be clipped in with a bullnose clip. It may be clipped in with a paper clip, but it is going to be a removable object. And I think I got everywhere that I wanted inked. Okay, and if you find any areas that are not completely glued, always just check your corners. Corners are always going to lift up because they dry the fastest before you can even get the paper on the page. So there we go. Just check your corners, make sure that you get them all glued down. Very good. Okay. All right, let's see, what else do we want to do to this? I think I have in my possession a couple of some mushrooms. I have some little tiny laser cut wood mushrooms. I'm going to get those, and let's play with some color. I'll either watercolor them, or I don't know, maybe acrylic. We'll get some paint and we'll play with some color. Alright guys, so I decided these are the two little the two little tiny mushrooms that I wanted to use in my project, so there will probably be one on each file folder. I finally decided to use this Prismacolor pastel box. This is just pastels in various colors. So I've never used this particular one before. I do have some pastels that I play with. But yeah, this is just me playing with color. I'm just going to wet my brushes. I have a little bit of water over here. And again, my camera will try to focus on any words that may be in the project. So unfortunately, you may see my camera trying to zoom in and out on these numbers right here. So anything that it can get its hands on, it'll try to, you know, focus on. So here I'm just going to use some browns and add that on various sections, maybe some reds, and just anywhere really. Whoops. And I can see how simple that is to break. Maybe an orange, and then we'll blend it all together. That seems like mushroom colors to me. And perhaps the stem has some black on it. Just seems like mushrooms would have that. Maybe even some gray. And I'm just using this this glove so I don't get pastels in places where I don't need it. Okay, so around here we'll dump some grays. And I'm just gonna go in with some water and just see what happens. We're just playing. It's just, we're just playing with stuff. Here, let me see if I can get you even closer to this. Oh yeah, that's nice and close. So I'm just gonna blend the browns and the grays together. I mean the black and gray down here together, and then we'll blend the other colors like the reds and the oranges up here. So basically all we're really doing is just watering down our pastels and you know, blending. So from there I'm just going to take my little dry wipe and blot it, and blot it, blot, and blot, until I get what I want, you know. So now we have this cutie. Isn't that so adorbs, right? You just rub your little pastel colors in wherever you like. So yeah, this will be more of a like maybe a fruity if that's a thing, a fruity mushroom, one that has fruit origins. I don't know, why is it orange and red and pink and gray? So alright, so now we have this cute little guy that can go onto our file folder. The only difference, I mean, well, not difference, but the only thing you have to be concerned about when you're working with these very tiny laser cuts, they, once you wet it, they will get very flimsy on you. It's basically like balsa wood, and if you wet them, they tend to break. So you just have to be just a little bit more careful. So here I'm just going to, I like that orange. I'm going to grab some. Yeah, let's brighten this guy up. That's funny. All right. Yeah, we'll brighten him up. And him up. And then we'll go back in with some browns down here. Okay, and I will brighten them up some more. Okay. Sweet. Sorry that wasn't even in focus for you guys, but there's that. All right. So let me see, maybe I can add some green undertones under here. Oh yeah, what a nice bright green. And under here, just some green undertones. Okay, how's that? How's that looking to you guys? All right, so I've covered my little mushrooms in the pastel colors, and then I just took a little container of clear gesso and Mod Podge mixed together. You know, the one that I use, and I just daubed a little bit on top of the mushrooms just to get them coated. Because this is going down on paper, I just want to make sure that the colors stay nice and vibrant and last in the project. So I just put a little tiny coating of clear gesso and Mod Podge. We will let these two little guys dry, and I'm gonna go get some more stuff to finish up our file folders. So I am ready to decorate these file folders. I kind of laid out some of my papers that I want on here, just to get a feel for where everything is going to go, how everything is going to lay. And I also like pre-prepped some of my stickers, so I don't have to fumble with that with you guys right now. So I'm just going to decorate the front side right side up, and if you notice, the back side is currently upside down, but when we close it up, it'll all be ready to go. It'll all be right. So you just have to keep that in mind. This is just paper. I'm just going to stick paper to paper, and I'm using my Elmer's Craft Bond. I realized that this I want to stay permanent. I don't want this to move around too much, so I'm just going to go in with the Craft Bond, because it is a permanent non-toxic glue, and this is heavy duty, extra strength, as the container states. So yeah, I just want this to stay put, don't move. Okay, and then I took some sentiments. So this just says, say yes to new adventures. The journey is the destination. Okay, so sorry if that never focuses for you guys, but trust me, that's what it says. And I just stuck it onto some paper that I made with, you know guys, we make so much here on Chronicles of a Crafter. So much. It's hard for me to even fathom how much stuff we make, but I made this paper. This is just 6x6 cardstock craft paper, and I just ran it through a little machine that crinkles the paper for you. Like I think I briefly showed you guys how that machine works, but yeah, it's nothing to write home about. It's a very antiquated manual machine that you just crank your paper through, and it still works like a charm. Like, even after all these years, the technology never changes. So that's a good sign. Here I'm just going to pop on some additional stickers, and I actually wanted this one right underneath there, and I wanted this one right underneath here. So much for that. Okay, so there's those two guys. But yeah, that looks so good. I mean, in my opinion, I don't know if you guys think it does or not, but I like how that turned out. So here's the other side of the file folder. I'm going to just rotate my paper, flip it around, add some glue to my the page, the little paper that I want to add on here. And I'm just gonna pop it down sort of centrally on the back tab. Okay, and I'm using my lines on here to make sure everything lines up. And this is just a little tiny washi sticker. Doesn't really matter what it says because it's just there for content. And yeah, so now I'm just going to just add a couple more elements right on top or near it. So again, I'm using craft bond. And I'm just going to stick this down in the general location. Oops, I forgot. This has to go first so I don't have to peel things up. Okay, so I may have to do these simultaneously just for placement's sake. Kind of want that there and that there. I'm trying to keep things like on the striped page as much as possible and still keep the element of what the previous sticker should be. Okay, and still keeping everything straight, like that's just also very important. Okay, so now we have this guy right here. As you can see, this is right side up here, and it's also right side up over here. All right, and on this tab, I'm gonna pop an eyelet in there. Let's just do that. I'm gonna use, let's use the big boy. I'm gonna just find a spot and just pop an eyelet, sort of like right there. So just gonna set this eyelet just like that. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, so now we have that, and then here I am going to just pop a little numbered sticker right on the tab itself. And I'm sorry, my my neighbor's dog is barking like crazy. It's probably dinner time for that little guy. All right, so I popped a little sticker on there, a little numbered sticker. Okay, so there's that. And here I am going to add, let's add a little chain. So I'm just gonna open up this chain. The chain is gonna clip onto the eyelet that we just set, but I have here a couple more little charms or tickets that goes well with this whole thing, the whole theme. I know what you're thinking. We forgot to add our mushrooms. I have not forgotten. I will add the mushrooms. I just need to figure this out. Okay, so here this goes right through there, clips back in place. Okay, and now we have a little charm. It's a little long, so I can shorten it, and you don't even have to like really take the charm apart to shorten it. I can just double hook it through here. Okay, so that's now adjusted. But again, if it's too long for you, you can always just remove a couple of the chain links, which is probably what I'll end up doing at the end. All right, so here on the front of my little file folder, I am going to add my mushroom. So this is the little mushroom that we made, right? It's brightly colored. I'm just gonna pop it down right there. It just gives everything another element. We have wavy paper here, we have a sentiment, we have dangles, we have paper on paper, you know, stickers on paper, and now we have this wood element to add to the project, and it just gives everything, you know, something else extra, you know, like another texture to feel and play with in your junk journal. And I think that's primarily, I think that's primarily what junk journals are mostly for. They're like, it stimulates all the sensories and there's lots to do, and I'm just gonna slap it down anywhere, Nicole, anywhere. Just put it on the paper. Okay. I got a little bit of glue on the front side of my mushroom, but of course that can just be rubbed away once it's dry. And I'll just get rid of all these little stringies. Okay, and yeah, and then once this glue right here settles, I will erase it with my little, this guy. Keep one of these on hand. You'll notice that they come in so handy, and you don't ruin a project by getting glue on the front side of a mushroom. When you have one of these, you can just erase it. All right, so now we have this cute little file folder. It will go so well in any junk journal. This is how I normally clip mine in, with a little bullnose clip. You can clip it in to the journal just like so. You can even dangle your charm off the side of a bullnose clip instead of putting the eyelet on the file folder itself. The option is yours. Let's decorate the other one really quickly. I think it's equally as cute. So here we have another little scenery on the back side here, and I'm going to add this little image of a hot air balloon. Again, I'm using my Craft Bond glue, and I'm going to pop this down really close to the top here, because I have this large sticker that I want to use. I need to use up my supplies, so don't mind me, guys. I've just come to the realization, and it's nothing new, but I really have just come to the realization that I need to use up my supplies. I cannot hoard it forever, and neither should you. If you have it, use it. So yeah, I'm just going to continue sticking down these really, these are just some inexpensive stickers. I believe I picked them up on Amazon. You may find these in my Amazon storefront. If you do, they're just called like ephemera stickers or something to that effect. And this right here says it's all perspective. Alright, sorry if that never focuses. Oh, there it is. It's all perspective, because it really is. This is just my version of what I would make for my junk journal. So it really is all about perspective. Just gonna pop that little thing right there. Okay, and we're gonna rotate this whole thing, and here we have another little something. So again, it's just paper ephemera. I don't know if I got this on Amazon or on Temu, but this is just some collage papers. I believe they refer to this as decoupage papers, perhaps. You may hear it either way, but that's how you can find it if you're looking for this or something similar. All right, and again, I'm just adding some glue to my stickers, because you just never know how long they've been sitting in a warehouse waiting for you to come along and use it up. So I'm just gonna pop this down right there. I have here another sticker. This is something that I've been dying to use. I don't know for how long I've had this thing, and it's just a little label, and I just have not found the right project to put it in until now. So that's gonna go right there, and this little sentiment says, look on the bright side. Okay, sorry, there we go, look on the bright side, because you always should anyway. There's always a bright side. I know, I'm just full of like positivity. What is going on? Look on the bright side. I'm just gonna stick it right there. Okay, so I think that's about that. Let's go ahead and put on our number on this side. I was thinking about using this really large number, but it's a little too big. The 44 is a little too small. I have my own labels over here that I can use, so let's try one of these guys. That one's too big. Let's try this guy. That one's just right. All right, so these are some labels that I made. I will put the video for this right up here in this corner if I can find it or remember to. If not, it's just an excuse to make another video just like it, because this was a lot of fun. I did this just by stamping on paper or cardstock. This one's too big also. Let's try this little blue one. This one might be too big as well. All right, yeah, well, here's a little blue one. Yeah, so I will put that video right up there for y'all, and you can check it out. The video is basically making our own labels, and all I really did was ran the labels through that little Xyron sticker making machine, and it's not even anything like elaborate, you know. It's just a small little sticker making machine. It's just this thing, right? You just run your paper through it and it makes stickers. Isn't that just mind blown? When I saw that, I was just like, whoa. I gotta have that for whatever reason. All right, I'm gonna put a number on here, probably 44, but I'll stamp it on here later. But for right now, I do want to get my other mushroom into the project. So here's the other guy that we colored. Right, I'm just gonna put a little bit of Fabrifix glue. I don't know if I mentioned that before, but I used Fabrifix glue. It will glue paper to paper, paper to fabric, fabric to fabric, and wood. So yeah, I'm gonna go with that for sure, because it does glue wood. Okay, so finally, let's go ahead and assemble this little ticket that I have here. So I was going to put another eyelet on here, and I probably still can but won't. I'm just going to assemble this little ticket with my excuse me, with my little bullnose clip. And there's a way to do this so that everything is right side up. So I'm just going to pop that in there like so. And I have a little paper clip here with, let's see, I want to put this guy, I have a little paper clip with a charm on it, but I want to add a little bumblebee to my charm. And my charm actually says miracle, and that you can just add directly to your bullnose clip as well. It may get a little bulky, and that's personal preference again, or your eyelet may not be big enough. You can always just add it to the chain of your charm, you know, and save yourself the grief. So okay, so there's that, and here we have our second little file folder. Everything is facing right side up, and clip that in just like so. Alright guys, I've played plenty today. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. Look at what we created. I played so hard today in my craft room, and I hope you guys are doing the same. But check out what we made. We made ourselves two little pieces of ephemera that can go into our junk journals. And basically, I'll be using this in an upcoming journal that I'll be making pretty soon. Stay tuned for that. So yeah, I just wanted you guys to see my process on making ephemera for my junk journals. I hope you guys like this video. If you do, please give it a thumbs up. I do appreciate each and every one of you who subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell for notifications after you've subscribed. Give these videos a thumbs up. I love interacting with y'all in the comment section. And don't forget, guys, I have one link. It's linktree.com/Chronicles of a Crafter. It'll take you to all of my other links, my Instagram, my Etsy shop, my Amazon storefront, Pinterest, my email, and much more, including buy me a coffee. So yeah, if you like the content here, feel free to check out that one link and check out some of my other items as well. So I will definitely talk to y'all on social media. Tag me if you make this, okay? At Chronicles of a Crafter, #Chronicles of a Crafter, and I'll show you guys some love out there. I will definitely talk to y'all in the next video. Stay naturally curious. Bye.